fly. I be rolling with you, mommy, I be feeling the motion. When I'm inside you, I be deep as the ocean. When it comes to your love, can't lie, it be strong as a potion. That's why me and you forever be coasting. Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot.
Yo, what up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, man, and welcome to another episode of Sparking Conversation, y'all. You know, where we just spark and conversate, you know what I'm saying? But I want to let y'all know today, first before I get into all that, I want to say thank you. I always have to come on every time I do a show with my gratitude, you know what I mean? Because every time I get a view or anytime, you know, especially with the audio version of this podcast that gets downloaded and streamed all over the world. I mean, I just appreciate y'all, man. So I like to open up every show with my appreciation to y'all, saying thank y'all for everybody who joins in and everybody who, you know, take part in on the podcast. They come on, you know, they give their expertise. Everybody respects everybody. We don't do no arguing and talking over top of each other. So we really able to get the conversation piece in, man. So that's really, really, really commendable, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of y'all out there that pay attention, and then, you know, just be rocking with your boy, man, as I keep this thing going. You know what I'm saying? At one point, you know, I was out here saying, you know, man, I don't know if I want to do it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about my opinion? Who cares about this, that, and the third? But a lot of times when you think that way, and I mean, even me, that's why I have all these little mantras and sayings that I have to say to myself sometimes, you know what I mean? I have to really, really talk myself into things a lot of times, you know what I mean? And not just sit up here and assume that every day gonna be the same. You know, sometimes you gotta force your way through some things that you may be thinking or feeling. And it's easy to feel defeated, or it's easy to feel like it doesn't matter, or, you know, what you thinking is not important, or you're just one person out of millions of people who will care about what you thinking or what you got to say. You know what I mean? That's easy. And then it's another thing that people say when it comes to podcasting or come to content creation, because that's all it is really in a nutshell, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that, people say, well, everybody's doing it. You know, so I ain't gonna do it because everybody doing it, and da-da-da-da. But I'm just saying, like, I don't understand like the mentality of a lot of people, because listen, if you could get just at least 100 people to listen to you, or to you can, that can take you super far. It's just about the quality of what you're giving out. Like, if you're giving out the quality, eventually the people gonna find you. If you're giving out value, the people gonna find you. So sometimes you just got to go with your gut, man, and just feel like, you know what I'm saying, and say to yourself, man, I can do this, yo, and I'm going to do it. You know, sometimes just saying you can do something ain't enough. Sometimes you got to go ahead and say, I'm going to do it. And I think that's important, you know what I mean, when we're talking to each other. So with that all being said, that was still a long way of saying thank you to everybody. So boom, boom, boom on that. So, but tonight's show gonna be a little different. I don't have any guests tonight, right? So, purposely, because what I wanted to do was, you know, I really don't understand, right? You know, sometimes why it's so hard for people to understand perspective. And what I mean by that is why people think that because a topic is brought up or something is mentioned or whatever, because they don't feel a certain type of way about it, or because it triggers them, that, you know what I mean, they feel like, yo, it's important for them to get their opinion off. And I'm like, yo, you know, YouTube is free. So you can pretty much jump out there and do your own show or say what you want to say about anything that you do the research about. And that's the thing. People don't do no research, y'all. All they do is react off of emotion. And that's what they do. So they get into that. They get into how they feel, and they get into how whatever the topic is making them feel. And me personally, when I had the show talking about, well, I don't really do a lot of shows on relationships because I'm not the person that's going to be out here giving people relationship advice, because I don't believe everybody thinks the same way I do to a T. I mean, yes, there's a lot of people out there that share similar ways of thinking like I do. It's plenty of people I met, but I'm not I can't represent for them in this particular moment. I can only represent for myself. And, with that being said, man, I never want to come up here on here. That's why I don't do men versus women stuff, because the main reason why I feel like it's corny is because people get into their emotions. They don't get into the facts. Like everything that we said, like, and this was like 3 shows ago when we was even talking about relationships in general, even when it came down to holidays, when it came down to the poly talk and all this other stuff, that was like 3 shows ago. But this is like episode 23. I have 21 other shows that are out there that you don't have nothing to say about them, but everybody. So I've been getting a lot of people hitting me up about the topics and stuff that we spoke about on the about relationships, and it's so weird to me, you know what I'm saying, how many people get triggered just because as men we can sit up here and we can have a conversation about it. And I don't remember, and like I said, we could go back and look at the shows. I did go back and look at the shows. I mean, I don't remember us saying anything that made us personally feel like we were trying to project a way that people should or should not be. We were just talking in a conversation like we always do. But I got time today. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing about having these type of shows or having your own platform, is that you can set it up. So I got time today. So for most of y'all, I'm going to get into the sponsors. Don't worry. I'm going to get into the sponsors. Y'all know the sponsors, Flixsters. Y'all know y'all got to check them out. Y'all know y'all got to go out there and check out Jasper AI for real. I mean, I'm telling y'all, you ain't got to, I hope all of y'all paying attention when I drop out these companies and what they do. And for all of y'all that have businesses that's listening, or you do anything that involves you having to be, a digital creator, content creator, whatever, you know what I'm saying? This tools is out there for you. All right. So I want y'all to always check the links in the description. Okay. And you can go to that. You can get all the information that I'm giving y'all. All right. ARR cabinets, for remember, all the people that's doing real estate investment, if you need a place to get your cabinets, because y'all know how that is. Sometimes the way that you set these cabinets up make a difference in how that place sells. Y'all know that. So just for my real estate investors, y'all know to check them out as well too. All right. So going back to it. So for some reason, as men, we're not allowed to have any type of opinions when it comes to relationships or how relationships are. Like, it's weird to me how you can, literally bring up a topic and people really feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, what about this? And what about that? I mean, I don't really understand. Like, for me, I don't know. There's always exceptions to everything, man. I don't think that it's up to me personally to try to appease everybody. You know what I mean? We didn't create this platform for other people to try to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish you would make these comments while we be on and we talking about it. The point is, you be watching, or people watch the playback or however that go, and then they jump in my inbox. And the thing about me is that my stuff is open. It's like public. I don't have no pages that are private. All my pages are public, so anybody could look. They ain't even got to be connected to me or be a friend or nothing, and they can see everything I got going on, because that's what I do. This is what I do. Everything that's on my pages is what I do, and I keep it strictly that. I don't intertwine my personal and all that other stuff with social media. That's not what it's for. That's not what I use it for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what anybody else do with their own personal pages, or if y'all really feel like this stuff is y'all, it's not. You know what I mean? It's just a platform that they allow you to use. They just don't charge you, and people think that it's theirs. And so, whatever. That's on y'all, man. But at the end of the day, I got to understand that no matter what, as a man, and then especially as a black man, you having an opinion, or you actually saying something about a topic that people feel like you're not qualified to speak on, and that's relationships. Like, as black men, you're not supposed to talk about no relationships, y'all. You know why? Because when you do that, you know what I'm saying, everybody say, well, what about this and what about that? And that's the thing. Like, whenever men try to tell women some things about how men think and how men feel, they always rebut it, because they feel like they know men better than men. Like, and I don't get it. Like, if a person is giving you free game, oh no, that ain't what it is. It's because this, that, and the third. Because some women are so caught up into the men that they had interactions with in their life, and now all men are the same. And even when it come down to their friends and stuff like that, it's the same thing. They go into that bag too. If all of y'all in the same spirit and all of y'all got the same type of dudes and all of y'all are upset about what type of men that y'all are choosing, y'all put all men, it's projected, all men are the same. So then now you don't really know a person personally, but because they bring up a topic and they actually have a conversation about it, you know, you and your feelings and you feel some type of way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reaction video tonight, right? But I'm going to do a reaction video based on something that's coming from women. Since women in general feel like men should not be able to speak on certain topics because to them, you know, we don't have the right to do nothing because all of us are the same, you know. All men are the same to a lot of women. There's no difference in us. You know, no matter what. If you a black man, it's the same thing. You in the same boat, all of us the same. It don't matter. Bang, bang, bang. So for you, it's the thing. You don't even care that the fact that those shows that y'all are complaining about, I actually dropped stats and I actually dropped actual websites where you can go and you can go get the research for yourself. So you can understand that we wasn't up here popping shit off of emotion. I was just giving y'all straight facts of how things are broken down, which I'm going to do again tonight because, again, I got time. You know, y'all, look, this platform is open to mostly, I like to have people that interact, that do something. And if I'm just talking about the trending topics of the week, because that's what we do on Sparking Conversation. We take all the trending topics of the week and we make it shake, right? So along with everything that's going on in this new culture, you know, the cancel culture or the feminist culture that's going on, like women are really out here on the, you know what I'm saying, super sensitive, like, yo, you a man, you can't say nothing about us and da-da-da-da and all that. But I'm finding it really hard to really believe that y'all think just because you feel that way, somebody not supposed to say something. Like, what you mean? Like, what type of time you want? Like, yo, you're not going to stop nobody from saying what they got to say. I think that if it don't apply, let it fly. You don't have to pay attention. That's all it is. You don't have to consume no content. It doesn't have to trigger you. How come so many people react off their emotions? Like, why are your emotions so strong all the time that you gotta react? Like, if it's not about you, why do you insert yourself? I never understood that either. How so many people do that. Like, really? Like, you really think that everything is about you? No. If you got an opinion, you should be able to state your opinion, stand on your square, and just keep it moving. Like, it should not be no groups of people arguing over what? A perspective, an opinion. So now everybody arguing, everybody all whatever, man. Y'all corny. So I got that. But I'm gonna also do some stats. But I'm also going to say this: while all of y'all out there being all in yourself and all upset about, you know, people bringing up certain topics, y'all out here following people. Your idols are out here tricking y'all. You know, so even today, like, I couldn't even get into letting what happened in the week. It must have been meant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she did this on purpose for me. I'm just saying, knowing that this was what I was going to do this week, it couldn't have happened no better than what happened today with your girl Ciara. Like, yo, for real. You know what I'm saying? The one person that everybody out here trying to model their relationship after. The person that everybody swarmed them down, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Her prayer, man, you know, this is what we need. We need Russells in our lives. We need men that will take care of our children no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got to be with the fathers. We don't got to work it out with the fathers. We just need somebody to come in and be a father. We don't care about the father being in the kid life. We just care about somebody being in our life so they can take care of my kid or why they got me. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, Ciara got crushed this morning. And you know the sad thing about it? The saddest thing about it is that she did a teaser. Like, she wasn't even, like, she just put it out there because she just thought it was going to take off like that. just to get just to get the word out. But now it don't even matter what song she put out after that, because she's part of the reason why a lot of women out here feel like, you know what I'm saying, they supposed to be so independent, go get your money, focus on your career, and you don't need no man. Why she got a whole husband, yo? Like, yo, that's corny, yo. She gonna do a whole song about all the women stay independent, you don't need no man, da 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 da, and she going home to her husband. Like, y'all bugging out here, man. Like, the fact that people can use y'all off y'all emotion, they know that the concept is wrong about what's going on out here. But they know they could play off y'all emotion because y'all really feel that way, man. Y'all really out here really thinking that y'all got all this time to try to get it right? And get upset when somebody's saying like, yo, this is an opportunity, or this is a way, or this is how things can work, or this is an opportunity that somebody said works over here and it worked for them. I don't know. You ain't got to do it, but they're saying that this is an opportunity for that to happen. But again, people so close-minded and they so traditionally in their thoughts that, you know what I'm saying, somebody interjecting a new idea that ain't even really new. These ideas ain't new. All this stuff is old, but people don't read. They don't do research. They don't read. And they don't Google that type of stuff. They Google what's going on in whatever show going on, or what's the show coming up, or they Googling stuff about hair or cars or whatever they out there doing, but they not Googling the stuff that's out there that can answer these questions for you or lead you into the books that can answer these questions for you. They ain't into that, you know. People don't like facts, but I got some facts for y'all. Now, before I get into the reaction video, all right, boom, I'm going to get into the stats because I want y'all to kind of break this down with me. And remember, the comments are open tonight. I got the comments wide open tonight. So if you want to say something, say something. I'll read them live. Because it's cool to have interaction. It's cool to have interaction. And, you know, it wasn't about having guests tonight because I wanted to make sure that I was able to, you know what I'm saying, kind of walk this in without feeling like I had to rush this through, because it's important, man. It's important. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I can defend myself. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read these stats real quick because I know a lot of people was out here. I didn't get a chance to say this on that show, you know, because, you know, we kind of kept it moving and really put it in a good space that, you know, we started talking about a little bit more than just what the topic was about, but it was still all encompassing relationships. But so I want to read these stats for y'all real quick. And this is a place that y'all could go. I'm going to always cite my places or my sources where I get my information. So y'all could go out there to www.pewresearch.org, right? And you can read this information for yourself. It's all this information is up there, so that way you can understand that we're dealing in facts, not dealing in emotion. I'm not dealing in narcissism. I'm not dealing in trying to toxic masculinity that's keep throwing out everywhere that you go anytime a man stands up and say something about the standards that he got. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have standards as a black man. You know why? Because you're too far down on the totem pole to everybody, to the fact that if you even have an opinion, yo, you know what I'm saying, people want to come in and they want to rebut. Like, yo, mind your business. Like, yo, I don't understand. But listen, let's read these stats real quick. So, on this particular site that I just cited, y'all can always go back. I'll say it again, pewresearch.org. Y'all go out there, check it out, right? And this information is out there. So, when it says about, so when everybody was out here talking about, when we was talking about the topic of poly and how that works and how that maneuvered and what the history of it was and what the true meaning of it was, you know what I mean? People still can't see past sex. So, all right, my bad. I don't know what y'all do all day, but ain't nobody sitting around having sex all day, but that's not my business, that's yours, right? I bet. So let's just break this down in reality. And at the same time, y'all, I want y'all to know our numbers are steadily decreasing as a population. But we're not going to get into that right now because I want to stick to this real quick because, you know, y'all was fronting, saying that, you know, it ain't like that. So look, more than a third of black people live in households headed by married couples. So let's put that into a number perspective. So it has the numbers up here. So it's saying family households, married couples, right, is roughly 38% of the whole population, right, of Black people in the United States. So that number adds up to about 17 million or so. 17,100,000 really thousand or whatever. That's really what it adds up to. Exactly, from what they have. And yes, that's based on census before anybody get in here and be like, yo, but everybody don't do census. Yeah, I bet. All right, cool. That ain't my problem either. But the people who did do it, these are the numbers of people who did it. So, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't got time to be talking about who didn't do something. This is the people who did. So these are the numbers that we got to go by. But so this is what I'm reading. Facts. 17 million, right? Married couples. Now, households that are led by females is slightly under that at 32%, right? So that's about 14,500,000. So now it gets down to the households that are led by males, right? So that means single dads, right? Single dads, right? It's 6% of the whole population. That adds up to about 2.5 million. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you all these numbers again. Married couples, 17.1 million. Female households, single moms, 14.5 million. Male households, 2.5 million. Now, for non-family households, these are people who don't have any children. These are people who don't have, that are not in relationships, that are single. Mostly roommates and different things like that. Anything that add up into that, right? Now that it leads up to about 24% of the population, right? So that's about 10 million or so people, 10,700,000 to be exact, right? People. So now let's talk about this number, this disparity in between. So 17 million people are married. 14.5 million people, females are single parents. And then you got 2.5 million dads that are single dads that run the household. They're the only ones in the household. They don't have a female helping them and none of that other stuff. It's 2.5 million dads, right? So the only thing that separates the married couples from the female household is that exact number right there, that male household leader number of 6% of 2.5 million. 14.5, 17.1, that 2.5 is in the middle. So even if that 2.5 million got up there with that 14 million women, because listen, a lot of women don't want single fathers. Let's be honest. The stats say that too. Most women, they'll pass a single father, whether they got a kid or not. Most women don't want to deal with a dude that got a kid because of what they consider baby mama drama. So they'll pass on a man that got a kid. So we ain't going to even get into that either. That's another show. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this is about. But anyway, so if the 2.5 million dudes got with the 4.5 million of the women in household, the women that's single moms and all that other stuff, it's still going to leave somewhere about 7 million. It's almost like 7 million people, like 12 million. So it's like 12 million women that's still going to be single. Then on top of that, in that 10 million, now we're not counting, any of the LGBTQ or transgender, none of that other stuff, because this is not based on that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sure it's another stat out there for that. You know what I mean? We can get into that. I mean, that ain't really my thing. I can only speak on how I live, and, so this is what this is. No disrespect to nobody out there, and what you choose to do, that ain't my business. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. That's it. You know what I mean? Boom. Give you that disclaimer up top. You know what I mean? Anyway, so just with that stat right there being said, you know what I mean? A lot of the reason why a lot of us are not in households or in relationships or in places or in things that are really prospering. Everybody is out for themselves, and that's what happens. So it ain't my fault. You know what I mean? The stats are real, and there it is. Our population is decreasing, completely decreasing from where it used to be. The numbers are completely going down. There's so much stuff going on in our communities that we're not facing. But anytime somebody brings up a solution, because, people love to talk about a problem or something. How many people that y'all know that you could bring up a topic and immediately they could tell you why it won't work? You can say anything, you know what I'm saying? You can say, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna build my own train, yo. I'm gonna build my you can't do that because you can't build the tracks. I'm telling you, it don't matter what. You could come up with something and somebody will immediately find the negative in what you're doing. It could be something as simple as your thought process on a new creation of something you want to create. And somebody will automatically find a negative portion to throw out there about it, or something to say why it can't be done, or anything like that. Because that's just how a lot of people are. They're wired for negativity. So anytime you bring up something, that goes against what they think is fair, they automatically take it as negativity. And so I don't know why, but that's on them. You know what I mean? That ain't my thing. My thing is not to try to tell nobody how to think or feel. My thing is just that when I did this podcast, or when I started this platform, was that's why we call it Sparking Conversation, not sparking argue, not sparking and go back and forth, not sparking my opinion is more right than yours. It's a conversation. People get to get out how they feel and what they think, and we conversate about it. And then we go back and forth. We can agree to disagree, but we're not going to argue on my platform. We're not going to be yelling and screaming over top of each other. That's why I don't do men versus women stuff. It's corny. It's corny. Y'all be at home arguing anyway. Ain't no need for y'all to get on here and argue with me. Y'all ain't about to take that out on me because y'all don't agree with something I said. Like, I ain't got time for that. We talking in facts. I'm not talking in emotion. Sorry. I apologize that that's how your life is. Like, everything is an emotional roller coaster for you. But at the end of the day, it's your emotions. You know what I'm saying? You got to take control of that. It can't be so easily sparked and stressed out over somebody else's opinion, man. It can't always be so easily triggered, man. Stop being babies, yo, out here, man. Y'all mad sensitive. Y'all don't. That's why it's a lot of things out there that are corny, and nobody is saying nothing about it. Like, but they starting to say something about it now because they tore Ciara ass up for being corny. Not that the song wasn't dope. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That the song wasn't dope or the beat wasn't dope. The content wasn't dope. And it was women who were speaking out because they tired of it. You know what I mean? They out here speaking up while everybody else is talking about chasing a bad girl. Go chase your dreams. You don't need no man. I ain't that. The point is, though, whatever you say you don't need, stand on it later. That's all. Just stand on it. That's all. Nobody's mad because you say you don't need a man. We get that. I'm sure that the men that love to hear y'all say that, yo, they know who to go right by. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's all love, yo. So I have a video that I'm going to do a reaction to. And the reason why I'm going to do the reaction to it, because these are all women that are going to have this conversation that they are having. It's going to be the elder, which is an older lady, you know what I'm saying, that's been around, that got all kind of experience and, you know what I'm saying, has expertise in the certain relationships that go on based on her experience, right? And then it's some other young ladies who's the podcaster is, y'all. And so real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the name of it real quick because I want to make sure I shot them out because I have their name on the video when I pull it up, but I want to give it to y'all right now. I had it written down, but I definitely don't have on the same page that I had it in, so let me figure that out real quick. I'm going to get the name of the video. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the name of their podcast, and I'm going to put it in the description anyway. I'm going to link it back to them anyway, so y'all could go follow them. And, so I got the name of it right here, so I bet. So this is what we're doing. I want y'all, I'm gonna do the reaction and all that. I'm gonna put the link to this actual full interview in the description so you guys can go back, check out the whole, podcast or whatever, and the whole conversation that they had, because people also called them and asked questions. I'm not about to, do that part about, what was going on with the questions and all that, but I am going to play some of the video of this conversation that they having. Now, in between, I'm gonna pause in between, so I'm gonna let y'all know that now. I know all of y'all know how reaction videos go, but I'm gonna pause in between just to say little things in and out. And like I said, the comments are open. If you got something to say, if you feel like you want to say something, say something. All right. So here we go. Shahrazad Ali. I don't know if a lot of y'all know about her, but she is a lady who wrote a book way back in the 80s. And basically it was a guy that she felt based on the work that she did in her community. Right. Again, everything that people say and feel is not going to always resonate with everybody. So when this video is being played, understand this is a result of y'all thinking that we was just up here having a man conversation. Like, y'all don't think that women feel this way. And that's the sad part about it. Y'all think that men around here talking all of these points that we talking about relationships and why certain things don't happen. It don't be us. It be women talking about it just as much. But y'all so quick to go out of dude because he say something. Like, all right, bet. So I got a video of all women. It's no men. Like, it's no men in the mix. The only one gonna be in the mix today is me. But this is a reaction to it. And you guys, the comments are open. Y'all say what y'all want. If not, y'all know on the playback, put your comments in there. I'm going to put the link to the whole thing. Don't worry about it. So you can go back and watch the whole thing in its entirety. But we're going to get through a couple of pieces of it tonight. We're not going to do the whole thing. But we're just going to get into a couple pieces tonight since y'all say it was just a man talk. And we should have had women on the panel. I don't know why. We don't feel like arguing with nobody. Ew, here you go.
Absolutely. And I have black biological sisters. I have black daughters, black granddaughters. And so, I would not come out and try to introduce an idea that would be harmful to any of us, including myself. And so we have lived under the shadow of so much falsehood that the enemy has fed us about relationships or how to get along or misinformation about our black men that we really don't know how to get along. And we have chosen, many of us, to live in falsehood because it seems like it's easier, but it's not easier. And it destroys us and it destroys any potential we have with a man.
Wow, thank you. I want to ask you about that, Dr. Ali. Why is it so hard? Because a lot of the pushback was that the black woman was like, why is she giving our secrets away and breaking us down and showing the black man about, how we are, giving him our kryptonite. So why is it so hard for our sisters to go out of their way to please their man?
Well, I think whenever I hear a sister say that she don't like men, including our gay sisters, when they say, I can't stand men, I don't want no man, I'm tired of them, I'm moving on, and a lot of things, then they really haven't had a man, because there's nothing more satisfying than being able to please your man in the home, especially in regard to fixing his food, fixing his dessert, helping him dress, and just little small things that we can make him feel wanted. We have a man who everybody hates. We hate him. His mama hate him. His family hate him. The white police hate him. The regular white men and white women hate him. This is a man who is hated by everyone.
All right, so let me. I'm gonna stop it right there, yo. Right? All right, back. So, all too often I say this too. I be talking to my boys a lot about this too, and we have these type of conversations because, a lot of the guys that I be around, really, they be around me like the guys on the set. Like, I be doing the filming and all that other stuff with. Y'all be seeing them on the podcast, Paul, Cav, my boy DMV, and a few other people. My boy Kelvin, he just joined us in filming and stuff like that. And then there'll be a few other people that be in and out. You know what I'm saying, as far as the guys is concerned. But those be my main core of guys that really come through and they be filming with me and stuff like that. And we be talking about that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I wonder why people really expect that every time that we leave the house, like it's guaranteed that we're going to make it back home. Like we the only group of people in the world that, I mean, everybody, it's like that for everybody. Let me not just say that, you know what I mean? Like where anybody could leave their house and it's not guaranteed that they're going to come back home. Let me not say that. You know what I'm saying? It can't happen to anybody because it really can. I'm just saying though, if you're thinking about, if you watch anything that has to do with hunting, right? And you see the deers or the gazelles out there in Africa and all this other stuff, they show you how they migrate, they show you how they graze, they show you how they go in packs and all that other stuff. But then when they get to cat week, you see, boom, this one is hunted. It's certain, it's like it's certain animals that are in the jungle or in the wild that don't get hunted. They do the hunting. There's nobody hunting them. You know what I'm saying? It just don't happen. And so you got a person that's considered that, you know what I mean? As strong as us as black men are, we are the gazelles every day out there on the prairie or out there in the field, like every day, like trying to dodge each way we go, not even just from the police, but we got to dodge our own people too, because you know everybody is out to prove a point, man. Everybody is out to be bigger and badder than the next man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to build with cats that has some type of dream. You know what I'm saying? Some type of goal. Because if you got some type of dream and I got a dream and we putting that together, then it can be really accomplished or be brought into the 5D, if that's what we want to say. You know what I'm saying? Or into the 3D, however we want to say that. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm jumping out there with the 5D because it's a such thing, but that's more of a spiritual thing. But anyway, so for most people, they understand 3D, so this is what it is, right? So you can take something in your head and then you can produce it. But we are an endangered species because this is how we have to survive. We have to survive in a way that causes us to have to be fighting when we're in the streets, and sometimes we have to fight when we come home too. So you know, when we talk about that and we say that and we try to express that, you know, they be like, nah, it ain't about that. It's about me. It's about how I feel and my emotions. It doesn't matter about how you think and feel. And so even the small things, like, it's not considered. But you know why? Because it's always an emotional battle between men and women when they're in that type of scenario, when they're in relationships. You know what I'm saying? You got one battling with logic and the other one battling with emotion. And so there's nobody that's in the middle that's trying to put it together because it don't work that way. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go back to the video real quick because I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that we get this in because I don't want it to be a thing where it's just all me, you know, doing the talking. So here we go. Let's let this go a little bit longer. All right.
The only solace that God made for him was us. And when he comes to us and can't get any sanctuary at all, then he don't have no life. And then they win because what they want to do is to destroy him and make us think that we are better than him so that we will help the enemy destroy our own man that God gave to us. We have the best man on earth. Everybody want him. He looked better than everybody. He's stronger than everybody. He is the best, the wisest, and the most beautiful. Now, of course, many of our men have been tricked by the enemy too. But since we are the mothers, we are the first face they see. We are the first person they talk to. We the first person to feed them. We do all of that and raise them up. And so if there's a silly man out here, he didn't grow up and be silly. He was silly as a little boy because his mother mismanaged him and didn't reparent him using the truth.
Wow. Continue to teach. Whoa.
All right. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, these are all women talking. This is not a man in sight. Oh, besides me right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a man in sight. So if you have heard any of this from a certain type of guy, because like I said, it ain't all type of guys ain't going, you know what I'm saying, say certain things like this to you. You know why? Because it's not a such thing. I know they got this whole thing that they break down now, you know, alpha, sigma, and beta male, right? So alpha male. Now everybody is an alpha male. Now, I don't get it. you know, even for a lot of the dudes that say they're alpha males, a lot of these dudes ain't alpha males just because you'll just bluntly say something. That don't make you an alpha male. It doesn't make you an alpha male because you got money either. So ladies keep falling for that dumb trick too. That don't make you no alpha male just because you got money. Mad dudes that got money is corny, yo. Mad dudes that got money is corny. They ain't got anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so everybody ain't an alpha male just because they say something. But you got to understand what makes an alpha male an alpha male. Most of the time, an alpha male doesn't mind telling you exactly how he's feeling. It's not this whole stigma that we got when it comes to men saying like, yo, man, men don't talk. They don't tell us how they feel. They just run around. That ain't no alpha, man. Like, it ain't, if he considered to be one, because alpha don't mean that you disrespectful. You know, alpha is not that. Like this thing where you just, yo, I say anything to anybody and they just bow down to me. That ain't no alpha. Look, that ain't nothing. That's you acting a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of dudes out here that walk around here like they some Billy Badass, and somebody that got that wear a polo be popping their girl because they think that because of that is what makes them this dude, and it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Alpha males. You could go look it up and get the breakdown. But for a lot of us that are men that understand what an alpha is, it's a leader. It's a person that leads the way, not a person that just tell everybody what to do. People who tell everybody what to do is a boss. Wow, we don't hang around bosses. Nobody should really have a boss. Like a leader is a person that show you what to do. A leader is a person that can do it or do it with you and show you how to do it. They might be the person with the expertise, but that's what they do. That's what an alpha is. An alpha is a man with a plan too. He got a plan. He got a vision. You can't count his pockets because a lot of times it's about timing. It ain't just about yo, I want to get it popping right now. Dudes ain't jumping out the window to be going out here selling bum-ass crack and all this other stuff that people still talking about in music. Dumbass. Like, y'all still out here dealing with drug dealers. Like, yo, a lot of y'all still out here dealing with drug dealers. Like, that's the corny. Like, yo, that's the easiest. Like, you really consider that to be an alpha male. Like, you know how many dudes out here got, like, stupid felonies because they got caught with $80 worth of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the stupidest thing, yo. It's the stupidest thing, man. But, you know, to each his own. That's what y'all do. That's how y'all get down. That ain't my business. But what I will say is that, you know, a lot of us have been lied to, you know what I mean? And a lot of us don't want to face the facts when it's a fact. It's not about how you feel. It's a fact. And I'm thankful that I even stumbled across it. I'm telling you, everything happens for a reason. When you in a good place or when you in good spirits and you got good energy and you don't mean malice behind what you do, the universe opens itself up to you and it gives you exactly what you're asking for. To be a manifester or a master manifester is just that. A person that could put things in the atmosphere and it's given to them. And it's a timing when it's given to you. And even when it don't happen the next day, you got this thing inside of you that lets you know that it's coming. Like it's on the way. Like the universe has its own time, but it's coming and you can feel it. That's why you keep going. That's why you keep pushing. You know what I mean? If any of y'all feel that, you know, or any of y'all that's out there that always feel that constant push to do something or to get into another level or to ascend, you know, higher than wherever you were before. Not just getting comfortable at where you at and not just being comfortable. All right. So look, I'm going to get into a little bit more of the video. We're going to let it play a little bit more. And then we're going to come back and react to it a little bit. Like I said, you know, I just wanted to make sure that y'all understand that it's actual women out here who feel this way. This is not a man topic. This is not a man thing. This is not, you know, nobody out here trying to project things off the people to try to make them feel a certain way. You know, if anything that I'm saying tonight makes anybody feel triggered, then that's something that you got to deal with inside you. That means that you know that you've fallen short of something. Because I ain't said I'm playing the women. My opinion is only based on what was being given to me because I had a show about relationships. And it wasn't really about just relationships. It was about poly because that was trending for the week. And now y'all still wanting me to talk about it because 3 weeks later, people are still in their feelings about a topic that they don't agree with, but they did no research about. You know, and then y'all share it anyway. That's another topic, though. We ain't even gonna get into that, right? So I'm gonna play the video some more because I want to make sure y'all get it all. Consume it, yo. Consume it.
Because
Well,
it's just
I'm just saying, this is what we're dealing with. And the fact that they have taught us to be so insecure and they have forced their relationship values on us. We don't have anything to do with how the white woman get along with her white man. We got a totally different circumstance. But every
Right.
time they have an issue or make any issue in the relationship a priority, we jump right on it. We run around that talking about our man gotta have good credit. Give me a break. You know, it's just all nonsense. And they use those things to keep us apart, not to put us together.
And we fall for it. We fall for it as sisters and hook, line, and sinker. And then we wonder why we're alone and miserable. So
That's
I want
right.
to ask you a question. I would like to ask you a question, just getting right into it, because in your book, you tell sisters, look, you're not equal to your husband. And you go into it very, very well. And you explain that submission really is a key to the happiness, a woman being satisfied. Because I heard what you just said right now. You said a woman is happy to please her man. She should be, at least.
Right.
So talk to us about the whole battle of the sexes and women fighting for that power and that control in relationships. What can sisters do to try to really enjoy being submissive? What can they do, doctor?
Well, submissive just really means agreement. I say that all the time. Okay? It just means that if he gives a direction or comes up with an idea, then we need to think it over and try to get with it if it makes any sense. And as far as us thinking we're better than him, it ain't nobody better than the black man on the earth. He is the first man that God designed, and everybody else came after him, every nationality, even us. And so we have the man who is supreme over all of the other men on the earth. Now, what we're dealing with is a man who has been wounded and repressed and taught that he does not have any value. And their solution to keeping him in that condition is to convince us to tell him he ain't got no value. And many of us do that. Many of us do that because we're disappointed. You know, I've been talking with the brothers about trying to get in touch with or make peace with their fathers. Because many of our people who didn't have a father, we have that father hunger.
All right, so basically, now that she said that leads back to another thing. I think they get more into the a little further into the video. But the thing about fathers, or the thing about the importance of, you know, a father being able to be in their child's life, and how important that is to the child, and how even though these moms, or there's a lot of people who are going through that, where, you know, the mother doesn't get along with the dad for whatever reason, so she withholds the child, or she feels like the child is hers. Like, you know, we have this thing in our community, only in our community too, where we feel like, you know, the children belong to the women. So they had this thing that was trending this week as well, where they were asking women, they was going out having a poll, and they were asking women, okay, so do you feel like it's a woman's right to an abortion? Everybody, they said, yeah. They said a woman's right to an adoption. All the women said, yeah. And they said, so whenever a man tells a woman that, yo, I'm not, you know, I don't want to, I want to sign my rights, or I don't want to be the dad, or you know, boom, 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 should he be allowed to be able to say so in that? And so he's not financially responsible for the child. Now, this is not my opinion. Like, so don't go there. I'm talking about what was also trending this week. They had these type of things out there, and every woman said, no, the man don't have a right to choose or not to choose. If a woman chooses to keep the kid, then the man's supposed to pay child support. That's just what all the women said. Every last one of them. They said, no, a man doesn't have a right. It's the woman's child. And I really just, what do you say? Like, if you really think about it as a man, like, we know everything on this planet that grows from the seed. So the seed is the most important. Think about, all right, boom. Think about what Bill Gates is doing, right? So now they got this new seed. They've been coming up with GMO seeds. Y'all know that. That's why they got watermelon and strawberries put together and everything that comes with no seeds. Y'all know they got the GMO seeds already. It grows one time and then it dies off. They got to keep replanting them same damn seeds, right? And then now they got this new seed that is reported to be coming out that can attack certain people based on DNA or based on genetic structure. So a lot of fruits and vegetables that's getting ready to come on to the market or whatever, and they saying your boy Bill Gates is responsible for buying up all the farm, all across the nation. And people are selling it to him. Why? Because they want that money. You know what I mean? If you say that the government says, hey, you can't grow fruits and vegetables and sell it to who? You can't sell it to nobody. But people can buy their own land and they can have their own gardens and they could grow them themselves, right? And they could go ahead and get their seeds and start stocking up on the right type of seeds and all that other stuff now, right? You know what I'm saying? Because if you use the real seeds, whatever you plant, it could regrow itself too, right? So anyway, but for the most part, if you kind of think about that and everything that's going on, like how often do we say it's important for the children to be around their dads, whether it's a boy or a girl? Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the dads are important. Like, now, if your dad ain't shit and all that other stuff that y'all say he is, y'all knew who he was before you had a kid with him. Don't blame it on the marriage or the lack of not marriage, because you could be married to a person and they can still do the same thing. So that don't matter. You know what I mean? So we know there are circumstances where, it's best that certain dads are not around, you know what I mean, in these children's lives, because it may be how they are. You know what I'm saying? They was good enough for you to sleep with, or, some other circumstances may have happened. Some people may have been forced into a sexual situation that produced a child. So that's why you got to be sensitive to to people's needs, not be malicious. That's why I'm not on here trying to be malicious. This is why I said I'm going to let something come from women tonight. So that way, everybody that's watching or anyone that has any type of thing that's going on with them that feels triggered in any type of way, you know what I'm saying? Understand that men are not the only ones out here feeling this way. And in this conversation, there's no men talking. These are women. This is an elder women talking to some younger ladies out here. Some of the ladies applaud in other ways, so that means they applaud in agreement. Now, none of the ladies are ugly, so you can't say they these pick-me girls. Like, everybody be talking about, like, these girls that only agree with men so they can be picked. That's corny. These people they really feel the same way. They out here, trying to prepare themselves for who's coming just as much as the person who is out here trying to prepare himself to be able to take care of what he's looking for. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right. So we're gonna play a little bit more, right? And then I'm gonna close out, because tonight's show was just about that. It was just about facts, not about opinions, not about my personal take on whatever, but to just give y'all facts. Since y'all felt like, and there's other things, like I got other videos I could actually drop of different women saying different things today. Like, it just was coming. It was just coming, or it just back to back to back. So if people are out here, or any of y'all that are watching this now, right? Because we got some people watching now, and for those that will watch this playback, if you feel some type of way, or if you bothered, look, y'all, it's really nothing that I can do about that. You know what I'm saying? We only out here reporting on what's trending. This topic ain't really trending this week, but this was my opportunity to use my platform for what it can be used for, which is I have the ability to be able to do certain shows that I can actually break things down if people are confused, and I'm able to do it in a way where it's not just me talking, or it's just coming from me, or if it's a person out here thinking that somebody's being manipulated, or like if any of these women are being held by gunpoint to say these things that they're saying, or the ladies that's on the podcast to ask the questions that they're asking. You know what I mean? It's not. It's these are people who are, feeling the same way that a lot of men feel. You know what I mean? So, all right. So we're gonna play a little bit more, and then after that, we're gonna chop it up a little bit, and then we're gonna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, sparking conversation. That's what this is about.
And almost everything we know about our father was told to us by our mother, who was mad at him about their relationship.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with us being their child and them being our father. Fatherhood is not based on whether or not he can pay child support or not. We don't care as children. You can't find a child that care whether the father giving them anything. They want their daddy. Yes. And we have deprived them of that based on some rules that white people set up. And we will tell people he don't do nothing for him, so I don't let him see him. And that is the worst thing. That's not hurting the man as much as it's hurting our own child.
Preach.
Oh,
right.
Thank you, doctor. We gotta give them.
We have to work on those kind of things. Even if we don't like the father, and most of us don't after a while, especially if you didn't stay with him or get married, if you don't like him. You liked him at one point, or you wouldn't have the child.
Right.
So you do like him. It's just we don't like him no more, and we make the child suffer for our dislike. And that's wrong. It ain't never going to be right. And we'll never have a normal child until we reunite our men with their own fathers so that they will know we need to have a moratorium on us all hating and being mad at our fathers. Because it's hard now for a black man to pay all of the things, to have a job. He living in a society, as I say, where he is totally kept down as much as possible. So if it's like that in 2021, what do y'all think it was like that in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s? He didn't have nothing. He was pushed out based on money most of the time because we all need the money. Right. And so, we have let them use that. That still is not more important than trying to have that relationship with him. And yes, we should be trying to rebuild him. Many of them, they have just given up. You should hear the letters they write to me. And many of them will, they'll tell me, they'll say, thank you. You finally explained some things to me my own mother wouldn't tell me. Because when people say I'm giving up secrets, I'm not giving up secrets. I'm just leveling the playing field. Right. We know everything about them. They haven't known anything about us, and it has allowed us to manipulate and play them because they didn't know what they was dealing with. All I did is try to give him a hand to say, hey, this is what you're dealing with.
Yes. Thank you so much, doctor. You said something in all that wisdom that you just imparted to the family and blessed us with. You said a lot of them have given up, and I want to talk to you about this movement. And I talked to you a little bit about it before when we had that interview last year with Sonetter. Shout out to Sonetter. Now, the brothers are giving up, and they're calling it a movement like men going on their own way, the red pill. Men are calling it the manosphere. They're saying, forget about it. We're done with the black woman. We're going to tell her to go her way. Have you heard about this movement?
I have heard it a lot. But you have to remember, they're dealing with decades of resistance and hostility and having their money taken and not being able to have a proper meal to even eat. Most of our men, and I'm around different grocery stores, some of those stores where they sell a plated dinner or a little carton of food they're given. And if any sister is looking for a man, she need to go to the grocery store around 5 or 6 o'clock. Because they all in line, they all lined up trying to get a plate of food for $10.
Wow, that's right.
And I tell the sisters, if you start cooking, he'll come by your house. He'll show up and he'll sit there a while. Okay, just food. Food is what sustains life. We have
Yes.
always been the people who have to nurture the entire family with food. Our men are in bad health because they're eating wrong. They're eating all of that salt. They're eating pork. They're eating all of that grease. They're doing everything because they're buying food from the enemy.
Mm. Mm.
See?
All right, so y'all know, look, I don't know. It might just be me. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of times that we talk about things, and we talk about it in a way because, you know, some people like to throw the word traditional out there. Like, you know, they're looking for a traditional this and a traditional that. And so I really never understood why the things that are small are not considered important. And some things are small. Like, what to most people that would be considered small. Like, right now they're talking about food, right? They're just talking about food. They're just talking about, you know what I'm saying, a woman's relationship to a man with food. That's it, right? They're not talking about sex. They're not talking about any of that other stuff. They're just talking about food, right? I know for a fact that some of y'all or some people who are gonna watch this, or, you know, especially on the playback and all that other stuff, they're gonna be triggered by that. You know why? Because it's saying that you as a woman are a nurturer, so boom. Why wouldn't you want to make sure that you feed the person? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are going to be triggered by that, right? Because they don't feel like it's an obligation for them. Like, they shouldn't have to. Like, and then you got to think about it. If people are in a relationship where I heard where if a person is married, if a dude is married, he still cannot expect that same treatment. And if you're not married and you're in a relationship, or you're in a living relationship, or if you're not in a living relationship, if y'all guys don't even live together, but it's expected that maybe this day one of y'all is coming to the other person's house or something like that, because a lot of times that goes on in relationships too. You don't always have to live together to make sure that you are a person that could be considered, you know, that cares about the person. You know what I'm saying? That you're actually with. Now, a lot of people are going to say it works both ways, and it does. You know what I mean? This is why men use their finances a lot. This is why men pay for things. This is why men buy things. You know what I'm saying? Because in so many ways, that's their way of showing it. Now, somebody say, no, I want it to be the same way I'm doing it. You know, if I cook, he need to cook. If I do this, he need to do that. Like, that's not love languages. Like, that means that you just want to be with somebody based on what they can provide for you. As all men, this is how we're treated in a lot of scenarios, you know? Like, if whatever you provide is based on what you are going to get, you know? Because if you kind of think about it, like, everybody wants to be even. But when it comes down to changing a tire, you got a man, you don't want to be out there jacking that car up. You know what I'm saying? You expect your man to be out there jacking that car up. When somebody break into your house, you don't be wanting to expect to be don't. And then I know a lot of y'all, no, well, I'll be the first to get, man, be quiet. You ain't gonna be the first to get up. Like, and then if you do got a man, what man gonna let you be the first to get up? Like, that don't even make sense. You know, so don't even be sitting up here talking all that tough shit. You're gonna get knocked out. Like, yo, somebody coming in there 6'2", 300 pounds, breaking in the house, you gonna jump up and do what? Get knocked out. And even for your man, he might get knocked out, but you would rather him get knocked out, because at least if he can at least duck the first punch or something, it's gonna be a little tussle. If the dude don't got a gun, you should be on 911 anyway. You know what I'm saying? You'll call 911 if your man was beating on you. So you should be the person that got 911 on standby if you know that. But you would expect your man to be the person that jump out there. When you pull up to a gas station, you expect your man to get out there and pump that gas. It's your car, but you expect him to pump your gas. Now, no, I'm not saying that you can't pump your own gas and women don't do. I ain't saying all that. I'm talking about in the expectation of. In the middle of the winter, it's freezing outside. You don't feel like jumping out the car to go pump no gas. You got your man sitting in there. You expect him to do it. And that's the same thing, even if he's driving. Do he say, yo, because I'm driving, you get out there and pump the gas? He don't do that. Do you get out and pump? You expect certain things. So it should be certain things that should be able to come from your opposite. You know what I mean? And it's just a mind thing. Think about it. It's like a puzzle. What piece is missing? If this person is taking out the trash, so should I wash the dish? Like, Put the puzzle together. It's not being even. I cook this time, you cook next time. I figured out food, you figure out food. You do this, I do that. You iron, I. That's not a relationship. That's not how things work. Things don't work that way. Life don't even work that way. You don't go to work expecting that your boss do everything you tell them to do. So why would you come home and then expect that to be the same way? It's just corny. This is why a lot of relationships don't last. This is why a lot of times people don't get along, because they take people for granted. You are a person, like if people are out there and they're watching this right now, and you say to yourself, if a person does things for you, even if it's the smallest thing and you do not have to ask, why is it so hard for you to give that in return without looking for it to be so grandiose all the time? People only look for what is huge to say, I'm going to reciprocate. That's what's wrong with holidays. That's why I feel like holidays are a cop-out. People use holidays as a reason to give to somebody or to get somebody something versus it being every day. Like, you really promise that you're going to make it to motherfucking Valentine's Day. You really feel like you promise you're going to make it to Christmas every year. Or whatever the person's birthday. Like, yo, you not promised that. Yes, you expected to make it there. And you can will yourself into however long that you're going to be on this earth. But at the end of the day, you act like it's an expectation. And it's not. And that's what I feel, the same way I feel about holidays. That's why I feel like they're not important. They're not. None of them. Yeah, they're important to those people who got a 9 to 5 because you get that day off. Why not? Get paid for that day. They'll give you that. They'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what? Are they important? I mean, that's up to you to decide. But I personally don't feel like none of them important. I don't feel like none of them are important. Juneteenth, everybody talk about Juneteenth. Yeah, they're giving black people a holiday, but I don't feel like it's important. You know what I'm saying? Because even then, people didn't know that they was free. So they just gave them a date. It was like the day that they went around telling everybody, not the day they was actually free, but the day they went around telling everybody, like, yo, my man, yo, you know you free, right? He like, words, like, how long? Yo, it's been like mad long, yo, you just didn't know. So yeah, so it's not like, so it's like, oh man, well shit, they went around this day, we're gonna give them this day. Like, man, look, like I said, you know, I don't argue with people about their beliefs and their opinions. You know what I mean? Like, we have conversations on this platform about it. When I talk to people about things in real life, I do not argue with them about how they feel about anything. I don't argue about politics. I don't argue about religion. I don't try to put. I don't know. You good. You good, y'all. I can dig it. I don't argue with people about entrepreneurship, especially with men. That's the biggest thing for me. I hate that. I hate when I be around men and they keep talking about their jobs. Like, but you saying that you're something that you want to do, or even be in the mix. Like, you be in the mix of being creative, and you sitting up here talking about, like, no, man, stop it. Stop it. Like, there's a way. It's always a way. You just got to be willing to work with somebody else and get out your own feelings. If you can't trust nobody, that means you can't be trusted. You should be able to put paperwork on anything you're doing with a person. If that's the case, put the paperwork up. Like, there it is. Cover yourself, cover them. They don't do what they're supposed to do. You know where it's going. They read it just like you read it. If you really are serious about it, should be no problem with people signing paperwork with each other. Even if they are friends or even if they are cool, you still should be able to do paperwork with each other. Because all it does is reassure that I'm going to keep my word. So if you ain't doing that, then that means something wrong with you. Don't be talking about you can't trust people. That means you can't be trusted. Anybody that screamed that is a person who can't be trusted. I promise you that. You never trust a person who say they can't trust nobody. That's a fact. But anyway, I'm going to play one more piece of this conversation. I'm going to skip through it a little bit because they do talk about the poly situation. Like I said, these are women. Now, these are just basic topics that we talked about. They don't really talk about holidays like that. Not in this, even though that was part of like a relationship thing when Paul was talking, you know, about Valentine's Day and all that. But I'm going to get to that little part in here where they talk about it. So you can stop saying that this is men talking. This is just men who are spewing this out. And then when you go back and look at history, whenever it was started, it was first created, which was thousands and thousands of years ago, tens and 20s of thousands of years ago. Matter of fact, I didn't really want to do that. I could have looked it up and had exact stats of when it was considered to be, just like kind of ushered out through a lot of the tribes and a lot of the, indigenous people, because everybody was indigenous at one point. It wasn't until the transatlantic slave trade that people were forced to have to go to different places. Everywhere else that people were, they went because that's where they wanted to go. You know what I mean? So anyway, other slave trades took place. Yes, they did. Not just the transatlantic, the Arabic slave trade took place. Yes, they did. And a few other slave trades took place too, right? So we understand that. But when people are forced to have to go somewhere that is not native to them, then that's another thing. But we're talking about those that are where they are and where they're from. That's all we're saying. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm gonna pull the video up. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna probably fast forward a little bit to get to it, and then we're gonna close the show out. But I like to thank everybody that was watching live. I've seen a lot of people jump in and on. Of course, whenever you people watch the playback, and if you got, leave comments. Leave your comments at the bottom, however you feel about the broadcast tonight, whether you think I was bugging or whatever. I really don't. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It doesn't really bother me that you feel a certain way about it. Like, it really don't. It's because I'm not up here spewing my own personal. I am giving my opinion in between because we're reacting to the video, but we didn't force. We're not, projecting. We're not projecting a lifestyle on anybody. All I'm doing is trying to debunk the fact that y'all think that it's just men talking about these things, or this is a men thing, or this is men trying to act in their toxic masculinity that everybody keeps throwing around. That word's so easily thrown around. So whatever. All right, so we're gonna get into it a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because we want to get to that part real quick, because I don't want to play the whole video because this ain't.
He leave home, you don't know if he's coming back because there's a white man out there want to kill him.
Oh yes, the police want to kill them. The latest this, the latest that. I gotta look to have all the. Talk to us about the materialism and how
by twerking. Okay,
Ooh.
That was not enough. It's not enough now. And the fact that many of our younger sisters are out
in these YouTube streets and in our communities, there are men that are saying they're high value, and they're actually telling women the opposite. They're saying it's about how you look, and they're saying if you don't look like anything, you won't have a valuable husband. So can you, for a minute, talk to the brothers about that?
Well, that's not, I don't think that's really, remember that some of them are confused too by the enemy, but that's not what I think they mean by that. What they mean is that even though we don't like to do a lot of cooking, we like to do a lot of eating. And so he's saying he don't want us weighing 250 and 300 pounds trying to wear a thong. But that's the situation. Everywhere I go, the women say they can't find no man, and all the men say they can't find no women. And whenever I try to put y'all in the same room together, you just fight like hell. So there's something wrong with us constantly saying that about each other. That's what I know. And I've been around more than the rest of y'all, okay? So what you have to do, brother, if you're looking for a woman, is try to find you a woman that ain't doing all the talking. If you see sisters together, try to find one that might be not have as much mouth, so maybe her ears are open and she can hear what you're talking about.
Hold on.
That he want us to go to the gym.
This is a little bit more into hold on, y'all. This is a little bit more into, I think, when the calls happen. And so I'm just skipping through for those of y'all that are watching right now, just tuning in. I'm just skipping through real quick, so I'm gonna get to the part. I've seen some of the comments that are popping up, and some people are saying that, but I'm gonna skip to it. So that's what we're doing. So don't think we bugging the broadcast not bugging. I want to get to the part, you know what I mean? Because like I said, this ain't my video to just be showing the whole video. I will put the link to the video in the description so y'all can go back and watch the interview in its entirety and then subscribe to these young ladies' channel if y'all feel like it. If not, it's all love. But then y'all can watch the whole thing in its entirety and get all the context, and then also get a lot of the calls of the people who called in to the show to ask Shahrazad her question, questions about certain things, all right? But that's not my job to do, you know what I'm saying? I just want to get to certain parts to make sure that y'all understand that it's not just men out here talking this talk.
The gym. He wants us to exercise.
And it's really been hard. I mean the aviation.
This is the situation. Everywhere I go, the women.
Healing. The doctor doesn't have a lot of time, so please call in.
This is the situation. The vicious mouth with certain clothes. And I
I'm enjoying the conversation and much love and respect and honor. My name is Allah. Don't call it from Washington, D.C.
Okay, what would you like to say or ask?
How you doing? I wanted to ask a question for Ms. Shahrazad Ali.
She's listening to you, brother.
Okay, cool. The question was, what's your thoughts on polygyny and the fact that the subject is becoming more prevalent in the Black community?
Okay, brother, I'm going to let you go. That's a great question. Thank you for calling in and tuning in and listen to her answer.
Well,
okay, brother. Thank you.
Our men already practice polygamy. It's just serial polygamy and separation polygamy. But our men, as I said, there's no Black man on the earth. There's none in the history. There's none in the Bible, the Torah or the Quran, that had one woman and loved her his whole life. I try to tell the sisters, let's deal with some reality. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about no man running around after a bunch of women just to have sex. I'm talking about that there are men that genuinely love 1, 2, or 3 women.
Yes.
Okay? And as long as they can take care of our emotional needs, which is all we are crying out for, then we'll accept that. We'll accept anything. If it'll let us be with a man and he'll take care and put his arm around us, we'll go for just about anything. And our men don't know that, because that's what we want. We are so afraid somebody gonna have better sex with him than we have. And it don't even matter. Whatever we bring to the party, that's what he accept and enjoy. It's not based on that. There's no men lining up women talking about who he had the best sex with. Sex don't save a relationship. That's why they have what they call them booty calls, where people go back to somebody that they ain't been with in years and months, okay? Sex may be an entertainment, but it is not anything that's going to hold a relationship together. Don't nobody break up over sex. You break up over those issues of not getting along.
Woo. Fire. Thank you for calling. You're on the line with Sister Sip Down and our special honored guest, Dr. Shahrazad Ali. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
All right, y'all. So even from this question, they do allow another person to come in and ask a question right here, but Shahrazad ain't even gonna answer the question. She's gonna go right back into what she was just talking about, as if she wanted to continue on to it. You know what I mean? And she just lays it all out, and she lays them out too. But she gives a lot more context as she go. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let the question play. She's not gonna answer the question though right away. She's gonna say, let me go back to what I was just talking about. And then she's gonna continue to go through it. Like I said to y'all earlier, this right here is not to try to project anything on anybody. I'm not trying to project any other values or views onto anybody. I'm saying to you that when the topic came up, it was trending throughout the week. Y'all said to me that it's just because it was only guys up here talking about it, that it was just that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, women are easily triggered. They don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. Not all women. You know what I mean? I'm just saying a lot of women. Or the ones that responded to me. You know what I mean? It was all women, and they were all in their feelings about the subject in a way where it was like, let me just do this show for this. You know what I mean? Because I don't know a lot. I mean, half of the people I didn't know. I mean, even the people I did know, I told them that. I'm like, nah, you know better, yo. Don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't no need for you to be in there acting like you don't understand where I was coming from or what we were coming from in the show. Because nobody projecting nothing on y'all. You know what I mean? It's up to you to live life how you want to live it. That's on you. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It just depends. It's just what you got. That's what you is. You know what I mean? Because one of the comments that was given to me was, so I ain't sharing no man with nobody, because look, he could let me go if he wants to, because all my exes still want me. And I don't know why women get off on really thinking that's like some type of hoorah, kudos or something, because the dude that used to pump you will pump you again. Because if the dude really loved you, he wouldn't have let you go. Like, don't confuse because the dude will pump you again, that means that he really loved you, because you think that, you know, you were such a good person that the person who had you before wants you back. Nah, you wasn't good. It was he lazy as shit. That's what it is. He don't want to start over. He don't want to go out there and have to relearn nobody over, or his road to relearning somebody and going the way that he wanted to. So then that's when he come back. Because people love to throw out this whole thing about the grass ain't always greener on the other side, but they forget the key word is always. Always. That means sometimes it is. So that's a 50-50. As much as people love to throw that phrase out there, the grass ain't always green on the other side. Yeah, 50-50. That means it could be. So I think we need to get out of that whole mentality of that, yo. Like, yo, just put in the work. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If you feel like the person that you with is not worth putting in that work, then change. If you feel like you can change. If you can change it and you got people, you change it. That's it. Like, you don't have to argue and fuss and fight with people or try to force them to be something that they're not going to be anyway. It's not in them. But anyway, I'm going to let the question play. She's going to play that out, and then we're going to stop it there. You know what I mean? The link will be in the description. Again, like I said, y'all go watch the entire interview, and, you know, and then there's other stuff on Shahrazad Ali. She's been talking about this stuff since the 80s. This ain't new. It's 2023 right now. This particular interview was from 2021, but she's still relevant and as into what she was talking about. But you're going to hear her talking the same stuff way back then. This ain't new to her. She's been out here popping this shit like this, yo. But anyway, here we go.
Hello, my name is Linda, and I'm calling from the Big VA, Virginia.
Pleased to have you on the line, sis. What would you like to ask, or what is your comment?
Well, peace to you beautiful sisters up there. I'm enjoying the conversation, and much love and respect and honor to our beautiful Queen Mother, Shahrazad Ali. I've been watching her since she was on the Phil Donahue show years ago, and I'm still watching, my love. My question to her is, would she mind explaining, giving her thoughts and views on the interracial agenda being pushed in our communities? And I'll listen offline. Thank you, ladies. Have a lovely evening.
Oh, thank you, sis. Much love to you. Peace and black
questions.
Okay. I'm going to answer that, but let me finish that other question, that previous question.
Of course.
One of the things that we deal with is some kind of psychotic disappointment if we find out or think that our man is entertaining some time with another woman, okay? Mm. Now, our mother, our grandmother, our great-grandmothers, our great-great-grandma, none of them have ever had a man by themselves.
Talk.
Okay?
Talk.
So this is not a new idea. That's my point, okay? And I don't know why anybody think that they would have something that ain't nobody else got. They think they got the one man that ain't never gonna be with another woman. You know, that's not real. And that's what I try to teach reality. That's not real. You ain't gonna have no man that don't never have another. I ain't never had a man that didn't have another woman. Neither have you.
Preach.
Okay?
Thank you.
Preach,
that's just the truth of it. That's the reality. And so what I try to teach is reality about our relationships and our men. He's not wired like that to just love one woman. It's one sun and it's 9 planets.
Talk.
Woo. You are on fire.
And I'm not saying, of course, that no man should be ridiculous to try to have 9 women, because he can't afford to do that. He can't afford to do that emotionally, because we are so crazy. Every day we got an issue. Okay? So he can't deal with a whole bunch of us or it'll kill him. You know, as I said, I killed my first husband. I know what happened. Right? Because we ran him nuts. We ran him nuts. Okay?
Wow.
But I learned better. And so I've been trying to teach better and to get us past this jealousy thing. It's only so much you can do with that. with sex. I'm talking about because that's the deal breaker.
Right.
Okay, that's when we go crazy. All right, and we need to pull back from that. It's only it is just not that big of a deal. We spend less time doing that than everything else in life. Okay, and so we need to be able to accept that we all have a certain enticing beauty. I mean, I have seen men with women, and I would think, he is so handsome. How did she get him? But he wasn't looking at her outer beauty. He's looking at her inner beauty.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And so while we teaching our daughters to look good, we best be teaching them how to be good if they're going to have a man.
Oh, preach. Thank you.
All right. So, again, some people going to be triggered. I know. But, like I said, this is not me talking. I ain't talking this. That's her talking. And if a person say, yo, Rod, you playing this, so that means you agree. I'm saying to you that if you don't understand that there's a such thing as research. If you want to know something about something, then all you got to do is go out there and research it. You don't have to be a person that's just sitting up in your emotions all the time, going by what you think and feel. You could go by what you know. Like we always been told growing up, I know I have, that nobody pays you for what you think. They pay you for what you know. If you go to a job, the job is they train you. Once they train you or you go through your probationary period, they expect you to know the job. That's why they pay you. They paying you for what you know. Anytime you go to a new job and it's based on experience, they say an experience. What is experience? Experience is what you know. It's what you've been through. It's what you already know. So people are getting opportunities based on what they know, not what they think. You can't go to a doctor. You can't be a doctor thinking you a doctor. Oh, I just thought I was a doctor because I used to play Operation real good when I was a kid. That ain't gonna make you no doctor. The reason why you a doctor is because you know. They pay you for what you know. You're a surgeon. They pay you because you know how to do a surgeon. If whatever you are that people are paying you for is because that's what you know. If you're a masseuse, they pay you for what you know, not what you think. So at the end of the day, the way people think and that it doesn't matter. It goes by facts. What are the facts? What are the facts? The facts are whether you believe what Shahrazad Ali, how she get down or not, is not the point. The fact is, it's not just men out here talking this talk. That's the fact. That's my whole point about today's show. My whole point is not just about what the topic is or just that, people out here saying or whatever. You don't have to agree with her. That's on you. That ain't what it's about. The point is, though, for all of y'all that keep talking about this is just men out here talking this. This is a man thing. This is this is the everything that you use to separate yourself from men, or everything you use to separate yourself from having a conversation, a simple conversation. The conversation doesn't have to end in an argument. It could be just a conversation. And that's the corny part about what a lot of people go through out here. They just are not willing to have a conversation because they don't agree with something. But that's on them, and that ain't my business. So what we're going to do is I'm going to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I'm talking about all of y'all that jumped on live, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all was paying attention. Nobody left a comment, so I guess they ain't got anything to say because I don't know why, but maybe some people will jump in the comments on the playback and they'll say what they got to say. Or they're going to do like these other people did. I don't even know. Jumped in my inbox and started talking what they talk. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, that's the case. I'm open for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I mean? Because like I said, everything that I showed tonight was based on the fact of y'all said it. Y'all said that it was just men talking this, and men are the only ones out here that are projecting, is what I've been told, like projecting their whatever they feel like is what they want to do to help benefit them. And I never really understood that. If a person is telling you how they feel and what they think, it's up to you to do the research. You don't have to agree. And then for all of y'all that jumped in, what about the women? What if the women want 2 men? Go ahead, y'all. Listen, go ahead. Like, why? There's nobody telling you how to live or how not to live. This is not what this program is about. This is why this is not going to be a recurring thing. That's why I don't talk about just relationships on here. Like, we don't have like straight relationship talk on this podcast. We talk about what's trending up for the week. And then I always have people, or I have somebody come on that's an expert in something. You know what I mean? Or some people that do movies, or some people that act, or my comedian friends. Like, we out here chopping it up, and we'll have a topic. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I don't want to turn people away from not paying attention to the podcast, because this is what I want. I need the people to come onto the platform. Whether your opinion agrees with me or not, that's not the point. The point is engage it. I'm not going to take it personal. Like, I didn't take the stuff that was sent to me earlier this week and last week personal. I'm not taking it personal. I'm just saying, you said that it was just a men thing. I'm just here to show you that it wasn't. I'm just using facts. That's it. I mean, I hope you saw that was all women right there talking. So, you know, I mean, and there's plenty more. You know, I mean, I got, the clip loaded. But that ain't what it's about. I ain't want to drag it like that. You know what I'm saying? And just keep on playing with, different opinions from different women who feel the same way. So stop it. You know what I mean? Stop being in your feelings all the time. Stop being so, emotionally triggered all the time. You know what I'm saying? Go get some healing. You know what I mean? We all got to find some way to get some healing and deal with the traumas that we're dealing with. It ain't up to the person that you're listening to or watching to help heal you. It ain't up to me to heal nobody. It's up to you to heal yourself. I got to heal myself, man. You know what I mean? But it's always good to have to be able to have a conversation about something. Spark your intellect. Spark your mind. Go do some research and then come back with it and then have an intelligent conversation, not an emotional conversation. That's it. Bottom line. Get your life together, y'all. That's all we trying to do out here is get our shit together, man. Word. All right. So shout out to all of y'all that watched tonight. It was a bunch of y'all that jumped in and out. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that's gonna watch the playback, and to all my Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal podcast listeners that be downloading the audio version of this podcast. Thank y'all so much, man, for doing that and then rocking with your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. And until next week, man, this is your boy Rod One, and this is Sparking Conversation. Y'all know what we do, what we spark, and we conversate. So double salute to all of y'all out there, man. All right, and until next time,